Good morning, everybody. My name is Maggie Fowler. I am the LPC for Calallen ISD. We have Dora Hernandez and Hema Uzo. Today they are interns, social worker interns, master level, correct?
Yes.
Master level social worker interns with UTRGV. And so they are going to present today on bullying awareness and prevention. And if you are watching this recording, they're going to present some questions that you can think about. And always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can contact me and I will put my information out at the end. All right.
Yes, thank you so much, Fowler. Yes, my name is Hema Uzo. Like she mentioned, I'm a social work intern. This is my colleague, Dora Hernandez, and we're going to present on bullying awareness and prevention. So let's begin. So just before we start, the agenda is the definition of bullying, signs of bullying, effects of bullying, what parents can do, and at the end, we will provide some resources. So, before we start with the presentation, I'd like to ask, what is bullying? So, what do you think bullying is? Um, some food for thought. There will be some questions here throughout this, and then, of course, the rest of the presentation will explain, but just give you some time to think about it. So, I'm going to move on to the next slide here. So, bullying, defined by the CDC, is any unwanted aggressive behaviors done by another youth or a group of youths who are not siblings or current dating partners. So, usually that'll include power imbalances. So, you'll have kids who are stronger or older than the person being bullied doing the actions. There will be multiple occurrences, so it's not just a one-time thing, and it will cause harm or distress. So it is really important to understand the difference between pure conflict and bullying. So with pure conflict, it's usually a disagreement or some sort of discord between two peers. They're usually equal in power, so they're not stronger or older. And when one person realizes the other one is being hurt, they usually stop and they try to resolve it. On the other hand, we learn that bullying is the goal. The goal of bullying is to hurt someone. There's that power imbalance, and the person continues after they realize that they're hurting their peer. It can be challenging because a child may come and report bullying and it's pure conflict and it'll be uncomfortable. But it's important to let them know that it's a natural part of life, and it can actually help them develop problem solving skills. So there are different types of bullying. We have physical bullying that involves hitting, kicking, tripping, punching. Verbal, so that's your teasing, your name calling, yelling, screaming at each other. And then we have relational slash cyberbullying. So relational usually involves multiple students and it's spreading rumors, a group isolating someone. And then the cyber portion of that is usually just using technology to do these two appear. So spreading rumors, isolating, can even include teasing, name calling. So here's another question before we move on. What are some signs of bullying? What do you think bullying is? So usually when we think of bullying, we think of the person being bullied, but there's actually signs of bullying on the bully themselves. So on the bullied here, we'll have unexplainable injuries, maybe bruises, scratches, lost or damaged property, things missing from the backpack, watches, phones, decline in grades, school avoidance. It's natural for kids to not want to go to school sometimes, but if you notice it happening over and over again, that's when it can kind of be a tip that something's going on. trouble sleeping, nightmares, and changes in eating patterns. So that's no eating, decline in eating, or eating way too much. And on the bully, we'll see some aggression. We'll see lack of responsibility outside of normal lack of responsibility of children. There's unexplained money or belongings that show up in their backpack. They'll engage in physical or verbal fights, and they'll have frequent visits to the principal's office or to detention.
Ms. Uzo, someone in the chat put also lack of self-esteem.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I can't quite see the chat. Let me see if I can pull it up. Lack of self-esteem. Yes, that is a sign of bullying, and you're right on the nail because that's a subtle sign and symptom of bullying. I do have this video here. I'll play some of it and then we can have a summary. And if you notice while we're watching the video, it actually says you. So it's something you can show to your children as well. Let me know if you're able to hear it. I'm not sure if I shared the sound yet, but let's see. Can you hear it? Mm.
I think if you turn it up a little bit, we would be able to hear it.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll do that. How's that?
It's very low.
Oh, was that a little better or?
No, I don't, it may not work.
Okay, that's fine. We can go over it. Again, this is in the presentation. It's kind of, hmm?
I'm sorry. I can put the link in when I send out this video. I can put the link into the video too.
Yeah, that'll be really helpful. Sorry
Okay.
about that technical difficulties, but
Yes.
I can just go over the summary. So, some more subtle signs of bullying on the bullied is isolation. So maybe your child usually went out with their friends, right? And then all of a sudden they just stop hanging out altogether. Low self-esteem, like one of the people in the chat mentioned, yes, they just don't feel good about themselves. Fear or nervousness, if that's not a usual thing, expressing fear, not wanting to go places because they're nervous, or you kind of see it. Personality change, right? That's a child, maybe a happy-go-lucky child, is now kind of detached, and it could be a myriad of things. Anger, that could also be a change in personality, and self-harm, right? If we see any self-harm, that's a really big indicator that your child is probably being bullied. So, effects of bullying. So, on the bullied, we have depression, anxiety, low school achievement, there's suicide and suicidal ideation. And it's really important that if your child expresses suicidal ideation, to call 911 or 988. If you know of the mobile crisis unit in your town, and if there is one, you can call them, um, or you can take them to the nearest emergency room and they can help you kind of facilitate what needs to be done at that moment. And another effect is violence, which is rare on the bully's part, on the child being bullied, but it does occur. And then on the bully, so we see children who bully, they begin sexual activity early. They use substances. There are some criminal convictions and traffic citations, interestingly, in adulthood. And there's domestic abuse of partners and family members in adulthood as well. All right, I'll be turning over this portion of the presentation to my colleague, Dora. Go ahead, Dora.
Okay, thank you, Emma. So, hello, everyone. My portion is going to begin with this with the statistics on bullying. Unfortunately, bullying remains a significant concern in Texas schools. We rank 17 in nation um, of how our students are getting affected or being affected with bullying, the for the well-being and academic performance. Unfortunately, females are bullied at higher rates than males. Um, on this chart, it shows that nearly 1 in 8 high school Texas students were electronically bullied through texting and social media. Um, More than 1 in 7 Texas high school students reported being bullied at school in person. Reports of bullying and cyberbullying are highest in the middle school, and then it's high school, and the lowest in primary schools. And the last square states that 2 out of every 25 students did not go to school because they felt unsafe at school or in their way to or from school. So, which is really unfortunate because, if they're not wanting to go to school because they don't feel safe, that leads to poor attendance and decline in wanting to be socially active with other classmates, and of course, um, their academic performance. Next slide, please. What can you do if your child is being bullied? So let's find out. Next slide, please. Okay. Um, Most important role that a parent can play is just to listen and validate. Um, Let your child know that you believe in them, that it's a concerning issue, that their feelings are valid, and encourage this open conversation. You want to encourage them to speak freely, to talk to you openly and about their experiences, and and also to ensure that you're approachable. They really want to have an outlet to share this information. So please serve as that outlet. You'll also want to reassure and empower them. Remind your child that bullying is not their fault. Help them develop confidence and strategies to respond effectively. So again, you want to reiterate that the importance of there is no it was no fault of theirs, and that person who is the bully is in the wrong, and they shouldn't and they shouldn't this all this attitude is not approachable or is not it's not tolerated. You want to teach coping skills, so encourage assertiveness, self-care, and positive friendships. Role play scenarios to help them feel prepared. And we have some role play scenarios at the end of our presentation that we can help you with. Communicate with the school. Report bullying incidents to teachers, counselors, or administrators. Work with the school directly to ensure your child's safety, and just make sure that there's clear communication on all ends, and then this also allows the student to know that you are helping them deal with the situation. Monitor emotional well-being. Watch for signs of anxiety, depression, or withdrawal. If needed, seek counseling, such as T-Chat, to help them process their experiences with these emotions. Because again, if you start monitoring that they don't want to go to school, they're avoiding who used to be their friends, or just even going outside by themselves, it's for a reason. So encourage positive social connections. Support your child in building friendships through clubs, activities, or community groups where they feel safe and accepted. Perhaps you could encourage them to join like they said, a sports club, band club, just any kind of positive event that will help them feel empowered to do better. Advocate for change. Work with the school and other parents to promote anti-bullying policies and foster a supportive environment for all students. And you want to lead by example. Teach empathy, resilience, and kindness at home. reinforcing that they are not alone and that their voices matter. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, what can you do if your child is bullying others? Okay, next slide, please. Let's find out. Okay, acknowledge the issue. Please don't deny it, don't minimize it, but recognize that there is a problem and it needs to stop. So you have to take it seriously. Bullying isn't just a phase. It's not just what kids do. It can have long-term effects on both the aggressor and the victim. And you want to communicate openly. Talk to your child to understand why are they doing this? Why are they acting this way? What what's the root problem? What emotions um, like anger or insecurity have maybe at the root of this? Teach empathy. Help your child understand how it feels to be bullied and why their actions can cause harm. Work with your school staff. Again, speak to your teachers, the counselors, about the struggles your child may be facing and seek guidance on how to support them. Set clear expectations. Have an open conversation about their behavior. Express love and support, but reinforce that bullying is unacceptable at all times. Encourage problem solving. Ask your child how they think the bullying can stop and what changes they can make. And again, consider counseling. We are here to help your child or your children develop empathy, um, take responsibility, and form healthier relationships. Next slide, please. What should you say to your child if they tell you that they were being bullied? Okay, so we have the the next slide is going to talk about the what to do and what not to do. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so if they came to you and told you that they were being bullied, you're gonna the positive thing is to say it took a lot of courage to tell me this. What you don't want to say is why are you letting other people get to you? Another positive response would be, I know this is hard for you. You don't deserve to be treated this way, and it's not your fault. What you don't want to say is, what have you done to cause people to treat you this way? Think. You want to say, how would you like to handle this? Not, you just have to be strong and push through this. And can say is, who at school has your back? You don't want to say, don't let them treat you that way. You need to fight back and stand up for yourself. Thank you. Next slide, please.
I just want to say I think it's really interesting because, um, you know, most of us, we've probably said, you shouldn't care what other kids think, and you just have to be strong and push through this. And we think that we're being, positive, like definitely. So it's interesting that those are the things that you shouldn't say, and be more mindful about it, because I know we probably say it thinking that we're empowering them, right? Like, don't let them treat you like that, fight back, if they hurt you. But I guess it's not necessarily the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of research, has shown that, kids that are being bullied, pretty much what they say that they want out of the adults is just for them to listen to them, to validate what it is that they're going through, what their feelings are, as well as support them through the process.
Yeah. Thank you
Yep.
so much, Miss
Yep.
Coley. Yeah, that helps a lot, especially it can be difficult, trying to help a child through bullying. So I have to be mindful about that.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So now we'll discuss the role playing that we have. It was just this slide that we want to share with you as an activity that encourages parents and caregivers to dedicate at least 15 minutes each day to meaningful conversations with their child to foster open communication and help prevent youth violence.
So I'm going to go ahead and move over to this tab here. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. So go ahead, Dora. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay. So yeah, there's 9 pages full of questions. It's a really great website just to document that you could use to just spark conversation and like Miss Coley mentioned, just it allows you to validate your child and engage in simple conversations and instead of closed questions when that we usually ask our kids, closed-ended questions. Um, so for instance, you can ask, do you ever feel lonely at school or left out of activities? If so, let's talk about what happens and what you feel. And another simple question would be, what is lunch like at your school? Who sits with you? What do you do? And what do you talk about? So, I mean, again, the child is allowing you into their world, letting you know what happens throughout their day, and who their peers may be, or I mean, are they sitting alone because they want to avoid conflict, or someone who's been teasing them?
Yeah, definitely. And I think this one right here, what does bullying mean to you, can actually be a really interesting question to ask, right? Because some kids might think it's just verbal, like or physical, and you can use these questions to kind of explain to your child, like what there are other types of bullying. If this is happening to you, you can tell me. Um, yeah, so there's other ones here. We'll go ahead and provide this. It is in the slide, but we'll paste it in the chat. I don't know if Miss Fowler will also send it in an email, but this is a resource you can use. It's on the SAMHSA website as well. And these are the resources that we provided here. We used a lot of the information for this presentation. There's 988, and also Dora let us know that 988 has a Spanish option for a lot of our Spanish-speaking population. You just press 2. Again, we put the instructions here in Spanish. Presione el número 2 para hablar con alguien en español. And yeah, so there's stopbullying.gov, really helpful things to take a look at if you want more information. And we just wanted to leave some time for questions. Does anyone have any questions? I can't really see who's present or not, so. Yeah, I can't see the chat or anything. So please do let me know if there's anything coming through.
We don't have anything in the chat right now, but if anybody has questions, they can unmute themselves and ask questions or put it in the chat and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. Got a little ahead of myself.
I don't see anything coming through.
All right. Well, in that case, here are additional references. And then thank you for your time. I know it's 10 in the afternoon, but sometimes it can still be early to come and watch something about bullying or learn something from a presentation. So we appreciate your time. And yes, we hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Those were great resources. We have the SAMHSA. Those look like great open-ended questions for parents so that when parents talk to their children, they're not asking yes or no questions, so the kids actually have to answer a question versus just say yes or no, and it ends that conversation right there. So those are some great conversation starters. Thank you. And then I just wanted to add that on our website, we have anonymous alerts where if you believe your child is being bullied, you can put in an anonymous alert for that on the Cal Allen website. And when I post this video, I'll post a link to that underneath it also. So if you ladies will send me the link to SAMHSA and anything else that you'd like me to post, I can post those underneath the video for parents to have access to.
Yes, of course. And we'll go ahead and put in an email resources for TChat, the organization that we're, yeah. So thank you so much, Isabella, for
Yes,
having
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
me. Go ahead and stop share here.